Good evening, gentlemen, and all of you dudes that play female characters. Today we're doing Stockades. I've finished my 100 weekly runs, and we're just gonna get right into it. So as always, at the start of this thing, just gonna show you guys where to find the dungeon. This one is in Elwyn Forest. It's actually inside of the Stormwind Keep city. It's kind of a pain to get to if you're not at level 120. My druid's currently 110, and you gotta sort of watch things as you fly in here, because there's all sorts of griffin guards flying around, and they can kill me at being level 110. They are 10 levels higher than me. And then when you get down to the prison area, I guess, here for the Stockades, gotta sprint in, because these guards will kill me as well, and it's a pain in the ass when you die. Because unfortunately, it doesn't spawn you at the graveyard just outside of the city. When you're Horde and you die in this zone, it spawns you... come on, map, work. Okay, so my ability to navigate through this map system sucks. So if you end up having to die, like I was saying, you're gonna end up spawning over at the graveyard by the East Vale logging camp, and that's like a 4-minute run or something from there all the way back over to Stormwind. Not enjoyable. Probably did it like 7 times or something, trying to run out of this place to vendor. So before you get started here, you're going to want to make sure you have your Bear Tartare food buff up. If you're unsure what that is, it's a craftable food which provides you with a 17% movement speed buff. Very beneficial for having that on, so you get these done as quick as possible. First group of mobs here is nicely packed, so you just swipe those or use some kind of AoE attack, and that'll give you your 5 speed of 5 speed stock on your speed boots if you have those, if you're 110, and you're just going to want to go through the dungeon hitting things as you go, and keeping your Bear Tartare up as well. It's only a 5-second speed buff, so you're going to want to be chaining it on mobs as you go throughout the dungeon. I'm not going to be looting things during this dungeon, minus that 2 wool cloth that I accidentally picked up at the start, but that's not too big of a deal. I've already done my 100 runs, so this would be run 101, so I don't want it to skew my loot results too much, so yeah, I won't be looting anything, which is perfectly fine with me. Lose out on a few gold, but it is what it is. Normally, if I was looting things, I would just be looting the mob that I would be moonfiring for my speed buff. A nice little add-on to have for that would be faster loot. It allows you to loot the mobs a little bit quicker. It opens and closes the loot window. So if you're running by and just AoEing things or hitting things with a ranged attack, it just, like it says, faster loot allows you to loot them a little bit quicker, so you're not being held up. So I'm almost done this dungeon already. The dungeon itself there isn't much to it. It's just a T, so I like to go up to the first boss here. I go left, and then I take a right, and then I chain everything to the end. Nothing in this dungeon leashes, so it does all follow you, which is very nice, because mobs that leash are super annoying. And we're pretty much at the end here. If I didn't mention earlier in this video, if you're a class that does have a teleport spell, you're going to want to use your teleport spell outside of this dungeon. Because if you do teleport while you are inside, what's going to happen is it will throw you back into the graveyard outside of Stormwind, actually. Where are we here? Elwyn Forest. It'll throw you back in the graveyard between Goldshire and Stormwind, which isn't too big of a deal if you're 120, because you'll have no issue getting past the guards themselves. But if you're 110 like I am, and you can only take about 3 to 4 hits from the guards and then you die, not really ideal, because then you will be running back from East Vale logging camp, which is way the hell on the other side of Elwyn here. And if you're a ghost, unfortunately, that is quite a long run, about 4 or 5 minutes maybe. I didn't time it exactly, but it's fairly annoying. So what I do is, after I kill everything in this last room on the side here, I do all my looting at this point. Then I will run back to the start of the instance. If you time out all your sprints properly, if you're a druid or just any class that has a sprint, if you time it out properly, you can have it up when you're done the end of when you kill the last boss of the dungeon. Just run back, and you're gonna want to use your teleport spell outside of this dungeon. And when you do that, it will teleport you directly back in front of the instance portal, which is much ideal compared to being teleported outside of Stormwind, obviously, if you're 110. So I did these runs on my Druid, which is my preferred class to farm on. It is also the class that I have my speed gear on, obviously. But if you do happen to come in here with a rogue, most of the mobs in here do have a fairly high chance to drop a item called a Lucky Charm. It is a crafting reagent, and it can craft a few different items in the game. It's not used for a whole lot, but one of them is the Pilferer's Gloves here, which is a pattern that commonly drops in this dungeon as well. Pretty decent turnaround on the transmog for this. I think most realms is worth about 10k at this point. Don't quote me on that. Obviously check the Undermine Journal or just your auction house in general, but it is an extra item that you can sell with your transmog gear. Even if you do this on a Druid, it might be worth your time just to come back on a rogue, do a little bit of pickpocketing, craft one of these Pilferer Gloves. I know that's what I'll be doing, as I got the pattern here, and I do have a leather worker. Now let's get into the loot portion of this, what I looted throughout my 100 runs. As always, I like to start with my crafting materials and odds and ends, I guess you could call them. So for linen cloth, we got 1,905 linen. Wool cloth, we got 4,344. And silk, we got 298 silk. Not a bad haul. I'll just end up sending that over to my tailor. As I stated in my other videos, I do like to craft that all into bolts and keep a healthy supply just so I don't have to go out and farm it other times or buy it off the auction house. I'll just always have it on hand when I need to craft transmog on one of those guys. We got 3 Traveler's Backpacks here. Current min buyout 20 gold each on my server. Have never had an issue selling these, so I like to hang on to them to get rid of them that way. And odds and end gems here. 15 Lesser Moonstones, 12 Shadow Gems, 52 Moss Agates. Those are pretty good for using with some blacksmithing and engineering things. Heart of Fire, Elemental Fire. You can craft some craftable items from Molten Core with that kind of stuff. Fewer lower level items as well. And then a whole bunch of different crafting patterns, recipes, schematics, whatever you want to call them. Generally my rule of thumb with those, anything worth more than 50 gold I will hang on to. There were quite a few different ones you could loot in this dungeon compared to the other ones. Pilferer's Gloves, like I touched up on just a minute ago. Green Iron Gauntlets, market value 2100. Potion of Curing, 150 gold buyout on my server. We also got Elixir of Lesser Agility, market value of 3,995 gold, so 4k basically. I believe the reason why that one's up so high is because that potion itself is actually used in a couple different crafting patterns, and it is fairly rare, I do believe. Elixir of Ogre Strength, same deal with that guy. So just a bunch of odds and ends patterns worth between 50 and several thousand gold. Stylish green shirt again. So my haul on this bag here is, we'll hit that nifty TSM macro. Pull my chat up on the screen so you can see it. Market value 41,915 gold with what I have in this bag here. All my patterns, odds and ends, cloth. Chances are I won't be getting that money from all of this because, like I said, I'll be crafting this into bolts. Any of these patterns I don't have learned, I'll be learning them and just saving these materials for crafting transmog gear. So I'm going to send this over to my alts, and I will pull out some actual transmog gear that I hung on to out of my guild bank. Okay guys, so I got all of the transmog items pulled out of my guild bank here that I saved throughout my 100 runs. It actually came to 99 greens that I kept. The majority of them are worth around 500 gold. That one was 350 market value. This one's 425, 538 minimum buyout. But yeah, the large majority of them are about 500 gold a pop. There were little odds and ends here that did have a little bit higher value, like the Bright Robe, market value 2100, Battle Forged Laggards 3100. The Lambent Scaled Breastplate was actually the highest market value item I got with 4136. Let's take a look at that. I could see why that may appeal to some people. I bet that would look very good on a female Blood Elf, for example. Maybe a troll female too. You know, all those female characters with the boobs. Those ones. What else we got here? We have the Buccaneer robes at $36.95. $26.95 rather, and the Sears padded armor at $1900. Interestingly enough, there is not a pair of Battleforged Laggards on my auction house right now, so I'm gonna push my luck and try and post for like a 30,000 min buyout, I guess, like this is saying here. Probably won't get it, but who knows? They actually look fairly decent if you take a look here. They match up with the chest piece quite well. Little red panties, I guess, with a fire laggard thing going on here. Not too bad looking. Not the nicest looking on a female Tauren, but you know, it is what it is. So total market value for these 99 greens is 94,694 gold. So it was a nice little haul I got out of there. Wailing Caverns was substantially better than this, so wouldn't recommend Stockades at all unless you're going for something specific like the Pilfer's glove pattern. Just add something different to your transmog selling collection. Additionally, I did loot 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 rings here. Yeah, 10 rings here. I'm going to pull these out of my guild bank in a second here. I didn't want to include them with my total because I have no experience in selling these rings specifically, and honestly I don't know if they sell, but we'll keep them at a separate total. Just 1 second. Okay, so I grabbed those rings from my bank there. Like I said, I have no experience selling these rings. Some of them do have an alright market value. Actually, they're all pretty decent at about 5,000 market value, 7,000 average market value. But I just have no experience selling these, so I don't know if they're going to take forever to sell or if they're going to be sold really quick, picked up as twink rings or what. We'll hit our TSM macro here. Total value of the 10 rings, 62,134 gold, which isn't too bad if they sell. If they don't, then whatever, they're just an added bonus. Additionally, I didn't mention my raw gold. For this run, I got 5,378 raw gold. And for totals, we're looking at, without the rings, 141,987 gold. With the rings, 204,121 gold, which, like I was saying, not too bad. Not as good as Wailing Caverns. Would I suggest you coming to this dungeon to do the transmog farm just for selling? No, not really. Not really that great. But if you have a few minutes just to waste and you're standing inside a Stormwind and dancing on the mailbox or doing what you do, maybe just pop into the Stockades, do a quick run or two. You might come out with a item that's worth a couple thousand gold, who knows. Oh, and before I forget, I also looted 21 of these guys, Ornate Bronze lockboxes. Not going to open these, just going to hold on to them. I'm going to do an unlocking video of a bunch of lockboxes when I get like 100, 150, 200. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below how many you guys think I should get. Chances are it's going to be 100, but like, wouldn't mind input from you guys, that's for sure. And that's going to wrap up this video. But do be sure to check out my last one where I mindlessly grinded out 100 runs of the Wailing Caverns, and there'll also be more videos to come in the future for sure if you hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell. Super important. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Shout out to my new subscribers and the WoW Economy subreddit. You guys have been showing me a lot of love there too. And if you'd like to support the creation of more content on this channel, my Patreon link is in the description, as well as social media and Twitch. You can find those there as well. Until next time, guys, take care.